let's get started with how to conjugate verbs in the present subjunctive. Conjugating verbs in the present subjunctive is really easy because they just all take the base form, no matter who is doing the verb. So we have everyone just taking the form have, or all verbs just take the form run. In the case of to be, usually we have to conjugate it like this, but in the case of the subjunctive, you don't have to worry about that at all because all the verbs just take be. You'll notice that apart from this verb to be, the rest of them only differ in the third person, where instead of the third person form being used, it's just the base form being used. Okay, if you can remember how to conjugate it, let's get started on when to use it. The first situation where you'll use the subjunctive is where you're using it after a verb which expresses a command or a desire, such as ask, demand, prefer, suggest, require, command, insist, propose, recommend, and request. Let's take a look at a few examples of this. So we can say, I ask that you be quiet. So this is expressing the wish that you be quiet, and therefore we use the subjunctive be. In another example, we can say, we recommend that he use a pen. This is expressing a recommendation or a command that he use a pen. Therefore, we have to use the subjunctive instead of the indicative uses. What about, she requires that you be on time? So this is a requirement or a command. Therefore, we have to use the subjunctive be. She requires that you be on time. You'll notice that often these expressions come with the word that, but sometimes the word that will be omitted, so you can just use it without the word that, such as in, they suggest he wear a tie. You can always include that if you want. They suggest that he wear a tie, or you can just say they suggest he wear a tie. Notice that wear is in the present subjunctive. Another example is, he demands she make a cake. He demands, that's a command, that she make a cake. Okay, so you might have noticed that there is a pattern here that we're following. What we do is we start off with the pronoun and then one of those special verbs that expresses a command or a desire. Then we add an optional that, if we want, followed by the pronoun and then the subjunctive. Now, another thing that you can add here is you can make it a negative subjunctive. So you can add the word not just before the subjunctive, and then the statement will become negative. So, for example, we can say, I prefer that you not be late. So we've added not, and it's just expressing the preference or the desire that you not be late. In another example, we can say, I insist that they not eat in class. So that's a desire that they not eat in class. Fantastic! Another thing you should know is that it doesn't matter what tense this special verb is, the subjunctive will remain the same. So for example, we could say, they recommended that we not be late. So even though recommended is in the past tense, it still takes be as the present subjunctive form. Another example, the librarian asked that the boy return the library book. So the librarian asked in past tense, but return is still present tense subjunctive. Excellent. Well, let's have a look at another way that the subjunctive can be used. And that is with a special adjective followed by the word that. So we can have, it is recommended that, it is desirable that, it is best that, it is important that, it is necessary that, it is essential that, it is crucial that, it is vital that, it is imperative that. All of these phrases can be followed by the subjunctive. So for example, we could say, it is necessary that he close the door. Or, it is crucial that he behave. Or, it was essential that she pass the test. So notice that was is in past tense, but that's okay, and that close, behave, and pass are all in the subjunctive. In another example, we could say, it is imperative that we be optimistic. Or, finally, it is not important that you be there. So you be and be, they are both in the subjunctive. One final way that we can use the subjunctive, which I'll be telling you about today, is with the verb to let. So this is quite easy. We can say things like, I won't let my child see violent films. So usually child sees, but this time it's child see. I won't let my child see violent films. Or another two examples, let him eat some strawberries. Let her play with her friends. You'll notice that eat and play and see are all in the subjunctive because they follow the verb to let, which means to give permission, of course.